Hello everybody, welcome to another Transformers crossover review. Thanks to the team over at Robot Kingdom. We're looking at the latest crossover project by Hasbro. This is their Marvel Comics Transformers X-Men Ultimate X-Spanse. This is of course their collaborative series, the same ones that brought us the likes of the Maverick from Top Gun and of course the transforming Ecto 1. This is based on the X-Men's X-Jet, and we've got the mecha form here, converts from X-Jet to robot. Quick look around the box, we've got Sabretooth and Wolverine on the side there, pretty much ripped directly from how I remember them in the 90s cartoon. We've got energy blasts, and we've got Sabretooth and Wolverine just to the bottom here. And we can change from bot to jet in mere 34 steps. And here we have it out of its plastic prison. Let's start off with the smaller figures. We start off with a really tiny Wolverine. That's some bad paint applications. I've seen people that do miniatures and they paint up Warhammer bits, and they certainly don't paint Wolverine's face yellow. I'm sure I can send this to the lovely Dave Mentz and he'll paint this up to look more accurate for me. We get these little effects with them as well. We can have that kind of swinging around the side. And we also get Sabretooth. Sabretooth looks a bit better. Again, not brilliant. I mean, I didn't get these for the little tiny figures, but there you go. There's our battling duo. Oh, I just keep singing the theme song in my head. Oh, there we go. This is the X-Jet. I believe this is just a kind of a remold of the Studio Series Jetfire with tweaks, much like they did with their Gigawatt. He was remolded from other figures as well. My wings are really loose on this guy. We've got some sprue marks on here already. I know these are designed for kids, and chances are these will end up being things like Smith's, places like that in the UK, but Robot Kingdom had these come up and I thought, you know what, I absolutely adored X-Men growing up. Two of my favourite franchises combined as one, and the bot mode doesn't look completely naff, but if you do it up at the angle slightly, it stays into place. We do have a visible bot mode on the underside, just a little bit. But there we go. That is the X-Jet. For a quick scale comparison, here he is alongside Red Alert and Jazz. Now to get him transformed up, the first port of action is to just bring these landing gear pieces in and out of the way. These tabs here are going to come undone and those are going to come down. These untab from the side of the chassis. That's just hooked in on the underside. These parts open up, and so do these inward pieces. Take a look at these thighs. These are going to come down. They're basically, this part here is going to rotate on a really nice ratchet joint actually. These are rubbish. These constantly fall off, but I think that was obvious that that was going to happen. These sections here are going to split And each one of them comes up. Let's just extend this leg piece on both those hinges. This is going to rotate outwards, and that will rotate all the way around. Again, on this side, this comes out on this rotating hinge. This is going to rock around. This one drops, so it tabs in like so. This one is going to come down, and again this one will also drop and come in like so. This opens up, this drops on this hinge here, and we have these tabs here. Those are going to come around on both sides and on this side, and those are going to push and tab in, and this is going to come all the way to the back like so. And this blinking thing popped off yet again, and I've just put it on upside down, haven't I? There we go. There. Make sure those are tabbed in. Oh. Those are the legs. Pull this panel away from here. These come away from this back piece. This can then come down. This comes away from the back, and we can bring this up, and this can come down, and there's these small tabs just on the base, which allows those to tab in. Arms can come down. This can rotate. Now you have to give this arm a firm press. Just pushes in to this void here. So there we go. And then rotates and rotates, and the hand comes around. This piece here is going to flip up and over. This then drops down and plugs in on the chest, bringing down that Cyclops-esque head. Unplug these back pieces here. That allows this to drop down. That in itself is going to hinge back on itself like this. And from here, this panel is going to come up. So the wings are on the back like this, and these are designed to kind of go up like that. And here we have him fully transformed up. Do you know what? He really reminds me of the old Marvel crossovers. We got that Hulk, we got Iron Man, we got like a Venom and that as well. I think this has fit really nicely in with those. I don't think I've still got any of those, which is a shame, because I think he would actually look pretty decent alongside those. Kibble is still there, but I guess it kind of works. I'm not really sure what's going on with those bits at the top there. They're designed to be kind of like shelves as well, for us to store our Wolverine and Sabretooth. Can't say I'm much of a fan. The legs, I think, do tidy up better on this guy. It has a nice little maneuverable piece in there, which allows you just to angle them so they work nicely. Paint apps are a little less desirable, I think. A lot of kind of yellow painted over blue, so you get kind of a green tinge to it. But all in all, it's definitely not the worst crossover they've done. You know what, Maverick could have been really, really nice, but his paint apps were awful. That's why I chose not to get him. This guy, he's not trying to do something he's not. There's no half-hearted paint applications. We've got some of that yellow on there, which I will cover when we get a closer look, but he doesn't have kind of that iffish, dirty look they went for with the Top Gun version. Definitely a kind of Cyclops-esque vibe to his visor piece there, which can lift up again, much like they did with the Ecto crossover. Although his eyes do look massive, don't they? We do have a fair bit of range on the head there. We go up and down, we can go left and right quite freely. We do have a wobble on the chest there, but no rotation. We have some articulation on the arms, come out to the side. There's a bicep rotation there, albeit not a great one. And we get some bend on the wrist. The ratchets on the legs are fantastic though. They come all the way up, all the way out, ratchet out to the side, upper thigh rotation, double jointed bend on the knee, albeit hindered by that kibble. And it's more of an annoyance than it's anything else, but we have some up and down, we have some pivot on the toe itself, although you work these feet and the shins do tend to come untabbed. Something just a little bit off about the head. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. It almost looks a bit like Overlord, doesn't it? But do you see what I mean about this yellow over the blue? Almost comes across with kind of a green tint. But I've done that throughout rather than casting any yellow plastic. I mean, these are separate pieces. They could have cast those in yellow, I think. But he doesn't look terrible. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but I guess some people might do this with their display. It gives you an idea of how big this bot is meant to be, at least. So I imagine that's going to be a pretty decent bot to fight off some of the smaller Sentinels. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Not a bad bot at all. I think maybe I may have to see if I can mod that top piece. There must be a way of getting that to kind of flip and hide a little bit better than what it does. I'm just not a fan of how that sits up over the shoulders. And I will see if I can dig out the Hulk or the Iron Man. I'm sure I've got one of them at least floating around somewhere, but this is definitely going to appeal to some of the X-Men fans, I think, and those that enjoy these 80s crossovers. Surely we've got to get an Airwolf or a Knight Rider, possibly even the A-Team somewhere down the line as well. It'd be nice to have this kind of homage to 80s and 90s nostalgia, all on a Transformers shelf. Thanks again to Robot Kingdom for making this review possible. I've included a link in the description below where this can be purchased. And until next time, for myself and the X-Men Transformers crossover Ultimate X-Spanse, thank you all for watching. Goodbye.